5, 7, 1, 2, 3.
Hi, this is Pods and Ends, the junk drawer of pop culture and geek podcasts. Well, hello and welcome to Pods and Ends, episode 8. Today, I am one of your hosts, Phil, and with me I have the wonderful...
Sophie!
No, you were not meant to go next.
I figured that was probably for me.
Oh.
Anyway, Brian's here.
And Shelby. So if you're listening on Brighttree Radio or Hyperspace Podblast streams, make sure you make the switch over to our Pods and Ends stream on whatever podcatcher you're listening to, as those will be discontinued this year. So make sure, if you want to continue listening, to switch over and follow those streams.
Oh, don't give them that caveat. They'll just stop listening.
Oh, shoot.
Please don't. Please stay. We have lots of things to say.
Please, sir, could I have some more?
So our normal sections are fairly short today, this week, because we've got the main event is Game of Thrones predictions, etc.
Yes.
When we start talking Game of Thrones, we generally don't stop.
Yeah, that's
So we
true.
thought, this week all we're going to do is an off-the-shelf and a Netflix and chill. So, we might as well start with Netflix and chill. Brian and Shelby, over to you.
Netflix and chill.
Well, as we said last week, we have been making our way through Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I liked last time, but I have fallen deeply in love with now. We're on to the second season, and it's become an incredibly rich, very well-made series. And the stories, especially, we just watched, I think last evening, it was Zuko Alone.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I think he's my favorite character, even though I think you're meant to not like him very much. But this episode was basically centered around him instead of Aang and the regular crew. And it was so much like one of those old Clint Eastwood westerns where he just kind of rocks up and helps someone out, even though he's kind of like an outlaw. And then at the end, he ends up getting run out of town for being who he is, even though he helped everyone. And it's just like perfect.
Oh, absolutely. It was so good. I'd forgotten about that episode. It's been so long since I've seen Avatar, but I just remembered how much I liked it.
Well, it's funny too, because that, like, when I was watching it, I was thinking, man, I love this. But I bet people who are really into like the Avatar story found this episode to be filler. And then
True.
I was thinking to myself, I wonder if people feel this way about some of those dumb episodes of Rebels. And then I further
Wow.
thought to myself, no one can be that dumb. No, I'm just kidding.
Brian!
Savage, Brian. Look, some
Gosh.
people like droid episodes, okay?
No,
This is
I
not
know. It's
Star
great.
Wars
Actually,
podcast.
it gave me a new perspective on those episodes that I thought of as filler because I didn't care about that character or that particular arc. But for someone out there, like, I'm sure there's people that hate that Zuko episode and think it's a waste. But it's been my favorite episode by a long shot so far.
Absolutely.
So, new perspective on filler.
So-
My mind is open.
So we're binging through. We're in book 2,
Yeah.
Earth, and we're really excited.
Yeah.
And after that, we're going to watch Legend of Korra.
I know. If you haven't watched this and you like animation, you should watch it because it's good. So what about you guys? What have you been binging?
We've been watching you.
That's creepy.
Do you know
Oh,
what?
You
It is
on
creepy.
Netflix.
Yes, you.
We've seen the previews for that, so...
yeah,
I thought you were being weird and said you've been watching us.
it did sound.
I was
weird.
confused.
We've been watching you.
So we kind of need
Yeah.
to keep this spoiler-free if you've not seen it.
Apart from
Yeah,
the dad
it seems
from
like one of
Gossip
those
Girl.
things full of twists. Is that kind of?
Yeah, it's good to go in as. Do you know what? I'm just not going to say anything because I'm chronic for spoiling things.
I think it's
I sent
a
all
little bit... It's very much a Pretty Little Liars / Gossip Girl esque,
Yeah.
but with a maybe slightly more grown up look at things
Yeah.
and a more millennial esque look at things.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he's in his 30s now, isn't he, the actor? And he's not playing a teenager like he was in like Gossip Girl. And I'd say it's darker.
But you're inside of his head, inside of the main girl's head, Beck.
Yeah.
And stuff, so you see different things from different opinions. And
Yeah, but this did cause me to send messages to Phil I sent 3 in a row in all caps of like, oh my god, I need to talk about this. So it's definitely got me thinking. And Shay Mitchell's in it as well, and she's one of those people that like, I think she's actually too pretty to be allowed. She does. That's my only criticism of this program is she walks on the screen and I'm instantly like, ugh, I just can't look at you because
that's how I feel about Blake Lively.
Gorgeous. Yeah,
True.
Like, she's so pretty, she makes me sick.
Yeah, it's criminal. It's actually criminal.
But yeah, I'm a little bit ahead. I think I'm 6 episodes in. I think you're 5 episodes in. So there's only 10 episodes, so it's easy to binge it as well.
Yes, and it is one of those ones that the minute an
finishes, you want to get on to the next one.
Yeah, it's really good.
So we won't say any more yet until you guys have watched it. But then we can potentially discuss in a little bit of length because it is popular in the pop culture world at the moment.
Yes, and so if you haven't been watching it, definitely go check it out. It's a good one, isn't it?
Yes. So after we finish Netflix and chill, we will smoothly move on to Off the Shelf.
Turn off the television. In fact, why don't you turn off all the lights except for the one over your favourite chair? It's time for Off the Shelf.
And we shall start today, not with our normal True Beauty part, but with Sophie, our resident bookworm. Fill us in, Soph.
I've got 2 things going on this week. Well, sort of 2.5 really, because I've talked about it before, but I've been ploughing through Monstrous on the side, which I know I talked about in one of our first episodes. And it's still really good, still super, super dark, and I will fill you in when I finish the comic. But I'm in the last third now, and it's definitely ramping up in excitement. So, but this week I've almost finished Inferno Squad by Christy Golden. Yeah, which you weren't that into, were you? You sent me a message at the beginning of the week, Brian, to say like you weren't into it, and
I didn't like it.
I
think the whole premise is dumb. It's like so anti what the Empire would do to me. It just makes no sense.
As in kind of an infiltration mission.
Yeah. We know they're here. Blow up planet. That's how the Empire works. Not send in 3 people, become part of them, and then tear them apart from the inside. That's not the Empire's way of doing things. I don't know. It just irksome.
Okay.
But anyway, let's not talk about that.
You want to deal with your fanboy rage, Brian?
Well, I'll say the stuff
Self-hating
that I
Star Wars
am.
fan.
I'll say some stuff I am liking about it. I kind of agree that the book for me was at its most excellent before they'd infiltrated the rebels, when it was just Inferno Squad in the Empire, because I love getting a look behind the scenes of Imperial life, and you know, the members of Inferno Squad are extremely capable soldiers, so it was good to see, you know, people like Iden, you know, she's at the top of her game pretty much, and
it's good to see really cool. Stormtroopers that can hit something.
Yes, exactly. It's refreshing. So that I really like, where, you know, when they're spending time with the partisans, like we know what that looks like. So it's less exciting. And the other bit that I'm keenly aware of is, like, we know where this is going, don't we? We know that this just isn't going to end well for the partisans. So you kind of can't root for them, but I'm also not rooting for Inferno Squad to win this either. I don't want any of them to win. I just want them all to walk away and leave each other alone. But
exactly what happens. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I am really liking getting to know Iden better. It has made me absolutely itching to pick up the game and finish that flipping game, because I got to Lando and Shriv and then I stopped because Lando kept dying.
That's the best part, though.
I know, it's so cool. They've done their thing. Yeah, they've done their thing and they're escaping, and I just can't escape at the moment. So it's made me want to finish Iden's story, because I do really like her as a character, and I've now really started to pay attention to Del Meeko as well. which I hadn't really he wasn't on my radar when I was playing the game first time round. So those two for me, I'm liking them a lot. I'm liking spending time with them, and I'm going to complete Battlefront if it kills me. Or
It might.
It probably will, in which case I'll Twitch it instead, I think, just so I get some closure. So that's Inferno Squad at the moment. And then the only other very exciting piece of news is I had a special book package this week, which Brian and Shelby kindly helped fix me up with, which is We Are Mayhem. It's a advanced copy. The book's coming out in April this year by Michael Morrissey. And Brian and Shelby had Michael on their previous podcast on Hyperspace Podblast, so do go check that episode out if you didn't catch it, where he was talking all about his Star Wars stuff, right? Because he's involved in the Star Wars comics, the Flight of the Falcon series.
Yeah, the Star Wars Adventures, the IDW series.
Yeah.
He writes for that.
Yes. But this is actually his own story, which it does say on the back he's very inspired by Star Wars, like Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff, so that's really exciting to me. I've got the first book on order, which is Black Star Renegades, which I'm really hyped to read, so I'm going to basically binge the two of them. Because you've read Black Star Renegades, haven't you, Brian? Is
Yes.
that right? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And did you enjoy it?
I did very much.
Excellent. So I will report back.
It's a pretty cool. You can definitely tell I think he refers to it as his love letter to Star Wars, and it's an apt description that translates well, but it's still different and good in its own right. So
Yes.
yeah,
Good
I'm
book. Excited. Yeah, I'm excited, and it's nice. I always like finding new sci-fi things to read as well, so that's cool. So yeah, I will report back. You'll hear from me soon. That's my off the shelf done.
No, you didn't read True Beauty this week.
I did read True Beauty this week. Yeah.
What happened?
True Beauty
Her
podcast.
mum.
I haven't read it yet.
Do you think she is
No.
adopted?
I wonder. I feel like you can't.
She's so
I don't know.
mean to her.
Do you
But
think it's like
just-
Cinderella, where like the other two kids are hers and this one's the adopted one,
Maybe.
Oh.
but she's gonna
Or that
Just
she took her
singles
in
her
because her sister or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but she just singles her out, and I just don't like the fact that she's kind of trying to dull her daughter's sparkle. That to me is just criminal, basically.
I think she just doesn't like her because she's ugly.
Wow, that's so mean.
I don't know. Truly, I think it's just a plot device, but I mean, we'll find out.
Brian.
Here comes
cynic.
Debbie Downer.
No, it was a good episode. It was frustrating, but I feel like that's a sign that I'm fully attached to these characters if I start to feel rage on their behalf.
I'm surprised you haven't bought the next 3 episodes ahead.
I know.
We honestly should just get sponsored
Right.
because I mean,
we are a True Beauty podcast.
But yeah, you guys had an interesting theory about the boys as well that I'm
Oh.
subscribing to.
Brian, you want to share your...
Yeah.
yeah, I think they used to be idols together. Obviously not Aiden; he's the up and coming idol.
Yeah.
But the other two, Suho and the other one whose name, the bad
rude guy.
boy. Yeah, the one with the earring, the dangly earring. That's how I think of him. Anyway, I think they were involved in some kind of idol program or something like that. And then I think we've been given enough hints that someone passed away, and I think that drove a rift between them.
See, I don't think they passed away. I think that one of them basically decided not to be friends with them anymore because they wanted to go solo.
Oh no!
okay.
Isn't one of the things they're talking about an anniversary of someone's death?
Oh, really?
I'm
I
pretty sure.
missed that.
We haven't seen
Maybe I
what's her
made it
face
up.
in a while.
Who's her face?
The sis,
The pretty girl.
Well, she's she
the one
appeared,
who
didn't
knew
she?
Suho as well.
She
See,
was
I think
back at school.
She was an
sad.
ex-groupie or something. That's my
Mm.
theory for her.
Because she
Okay.
came back, didn't she? And they said, "Oh, she looks different," and I didn't know if she'd gone off and had a boob job and came back. That was,
Oh, wow.
that was looking different about her. I was like, I don't know. I just
I
feel
didn't know
like
you
she'd
paid
be
that
one of the
much attention.
plastics. Well, I just got the vibe that she was like one of the plastics or something, you know.
It is rife in
And it is
South Korea
Yes. So I
Is
don't
it
know
really?
whether she was...
and in the K-pop
Oh
industry.
my
Yes,
gosh, it's huge. Yeah, they've got a real issue with.
they don't have an issue with it. They actively encourage it.
I know a lot of the young, like,
I would say that's
idol
kind of an
groups.
issue.
Yeah, like in their training programs, like there's a band, I can't even remember their name now, but they did they released 2 songs. One was called Before and one was called After. Before shows them before they've had their plastic surgery, and then After featured them. And there was a massive outcry about it because normally they just flat out deny and go, "Oh no, my chin just lost a lot of weight." And when,
Oh, so it's kind of like Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and then they went and had an entire song series.
They just disappear. Yeah, they normally just disappear. And I mean, when we were in, so Gangnam's like the hotspot for plastic surgery clinics, and when we were there were people we'd get into the lift, and he had one of the surgical masks on and sunglasses, but you could see he had 2 black eyes, and like where his nose was bandaged up and stuff, where he'd clearly just been off and had a nose job. And they tend to just have a week off work or something, get some plastic surgery, get some takeout, and chill in a hotel room until their bruising's died down.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's where my brain went straight there. It was like, she's disappeared for ages. Did she go off and get some plastic surgery and come back? And whether that will be something that Jugyoung's going to feel that she has to go down that route, if she's going to start feeling that. I don't know how dark this series is going to get. That's where it could stay really light. Or
way darker.
Yeah, this is going to turn into school days really fast.
Suicide, plastic surgery, peer pressure. Or it's going to be none of those things, and I'm just reading too much into it, which is a very real possibility.
Knowing you, yes it is.
I mean, isn't that our entire point as podcasters, is to read too much into everything?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's probably enough True Beauty chat for this week's episode. Brian, over to you. You've got a off-the-shelf, I believe.
I do. Believe it or not, there are more webtoons on Webtoon than True Beauty. And I found one that I like very much. It is called City of Blank. It has a very strange premise where there's this world where there are blanks, and they look like the generic emojis or like avatars that people get when you sign up for something. They're, have no face, but they have like a person's shape, kind of like the generic things you'll see on like a restroom. But yeah. And people have to wear masks because if these blanks see your face, they'll steal it and then they'll become you.
Oh my god.
Right? I don't remember how I found it. I was just flipping through sci-fi things, I think. And the premise was really interesting. And then I started reading it. And they're fairly short issues, so I'm blasting through it. But it's quite good. If you're into that very non-True Beauty type of webtoon, then I would definitely recommend it. It's really cool.
It's quite a different animation style as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the cool thing about Webtoon. There's so many different things. Like, so many. I don't even think you could read them all if you tried.
Oh my gosh, this looks really dark, Brian. We've got it up on our screen now. It looks really scary.
It's good.
Ooh, might have to check that out.
Yeah, I would recommend it. Like I said,
It's really good.
The episodes are short and it moves really fast. I'm almost caught up already, so good times.
Nice. Yeah, I get a little intimidated if I'm trying to look for a new series and it's already on its 80th episode. I'm a bit like, I don't know. I like it when they've only got about 17, 20.
I got a tip for everyone out there.
Yeah.
All you social media users. Rather than spend that 5 minutes whipping through Twitter and finding nothing, or finding rubbish that people write and their opinions just rubbish, just flip over to Webtoons, find something, read that for 5 minutes, you get through 5 episodes. You can do that.
True.
Do that. How many
And I
times
swear
a day
we're
do
not-
people go on social media? 20?
We're not sponsored by Webtoon.
But I wish we were.
This is straight up real advice, and I agree with Phil 100%.
Webtoons, please give us free stuff.
Yeah.
So, now we're going to move on very quickly this week, because normally that's about an hour's worth of content, but not this week. We're moving on to our April 14th predictions. Well, it's out on April 14th. Predictions of Game of Thrones. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is your main event.
What will happen in this TV show?
Are
Are you guys just gonna sing? the whole
Yeah,
time,
that's
or
what
you
we're
talk
gonna do the
about
whole
it?
rest of the episode to that tune.
Yeah.
No, we're actually not going to do that. Please don't turn it off.
No. I was thinking, actually, people will start to think we're a Game of Thrones podcast by the end of, by the summer, people will actually think, are they a Webtoons podcast or are they a Game of Thrones podcast? I don't understand, but this is the beginning of the hype train.
Yes.
I think it would be nice to start this episode with Game of Thrones is a lot about relationships. And our 2 previous podcasts like to talk about ships and
did.
shipping sometimes,
Yeah,
didn't
did we?
they? Yes, they did.
What?
So,
I think we each did one episode on shipping. We referred to
This is
it.
just what Phil was thinking about the whole time.
yeah. So, Shelby, you start us off. What ships are you into?
Are
Want?
going to sail.
Don't want?
This is the
maybe,
ship that's gonna sail.
in
Oh my gosh.
the final series of Game of Thrones.
My number 1 ship is, I think you say his name is Tormund,
Yeah, it's
the
good enough.
wildling guy, redheaded dude that's super
Giant Spain.
into Brienne of Tarth. I think it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. I want it to happen,
Yeah.
even though I kind of ship her with Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Him and the, what was it? What did he call her? Like, me and the big woman or something, wasn't
The
it?
big
girl.
woman.
I can't remember.
I was like, oh my god. But it's like so charming because he's so enamored with her and she's just like, ugh. But
yeah.
maybe she'll come around.
It's very much like a prepubescent relationship where he's like nudging her and giving her those weird eyes, and she's just like not having it at all.
I know.
It's good stuff.
It's not like she's not like saying no at all. She's just like, oh my gosh, you are so gross.
Yeah, she's just exasperated with the whole idea.
The thing
But-
is, I feel like she's been so unlucky in love in the past, and I'm honestly, I don't think girls had much action in her life, and I feel like he's a more straightforward, like you. I'm kind of into the idea of her and Jamie just because they had the most beautiful character development, but Tormund is it's a simpler life for Brienne.
Well,
where I
it's
feel
definitely
like,
a
yeah.
step up. It's a step up from her first love, which was a dude who was already married and also gay.
Yeah.
That wasn't gonna happen on a lot of levels.
So
She likes them hard to get.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I think we're
feel
doing a
like-
lot better
yeah.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
okay, I'm going to do mine next.
Go for it.
Sam and Sansa.
What?
Oh my! Isn't he with Gilly?
Yeah, I think his heart's already taken.
Because, no.
Oh, here we go.
We're doing a death list, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers.
You think Gilly's gonna die?
I think
Yes.
she will die.
I have her as my first on the list.
Oh my gosh, you guys are evil.
Wow.
But, okay, so she dies, so then he has to find someone else. He is going to get a very big castle. Other people are going to get very big castles. She needs a big castle somewhere. So, she's going to go and marry Sam. We're talking Game of Thrones here. It's all happy endings, isn't it? They're going to end up together. Have we not watched the first, have we not watched the rest of what's been going on with Game of Thrones?
Well, that's why my list is quite short of couples for. But what was it? If you think this has a happy ending, you've not been paying attention.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think
right.
that those two will end up together down south somewhere, together in a big castle.
I think that
It's
Sansa,
not a loving relationship, but it's an important political relationship.
The best kind.
I think Sansa is actually going to be back with Tyrion.
Ooh!
Wow, that is good.
I kind of like that.
I think
I
I
do.
think they're gonna honor her first marriage.
Ooh, yes. I actually found them like strangely compatible in a way. They're just sort of, she's moved away from those childish like, I want to marry Prince Charming, because now she knows that Prince Charming doesn't exist in this world, and she needs to lower her standards. But I'm not saying like that Tyrion's a lowering, because obviously Tyrion, it turns out, isn't just a drunken lecherous.
Well, he was very kind to her.
He was. He was
Mhm.
very kind to her, and he did not have to be at all. In fact, he had every motivation not to be with his dad. Well, bring me a son kind of thing, as Tywin was wont to do.
But that might be
So,
kind of like
yeah.
a peace offering of them honoring that marriage together.
Wow,
Mhm.
mind blown already this episode.
I had not
Right, so
even
hit us up
considered that.
then. Your ships. What are you into? What do you want to happen?
Well, this is one that I think what is going to happen is, and this kind of overflows into the Deadpool a bit, but I think Dany and Jon will stay together for the series. Incestual.
Gross.
I think they're just going in. I'm not saying I'm into it, but I think they will potentially stay together.
I have
just
questions whether my sister was that good looking, whether I would or not.
No,
you know?
aunt!
Oh.
She's aunt! Come on!
Just saying.
Well, what are we saying?
Good night,
Jon
everybody.
Snow, yeah, I don't know. But I've just got a feeling they're not going to have had all that build up and then just break them up in the first few episodes, unless one of them's going to die. If they both survive, I think they survive as a couple.
Or die as a couple.
Yeah, I feel like they're not going to break up now.
Oh, wow.
Although I don't feel like you bring Jon Snow back from the dead and then kill him.
Yeah, you do. Just
Yeah,
saying.
exactly.
I mean,
And
then
why
again,
have
it is,
him...
it is Game of Thrones.
I know, true. But, like, why have him go with the Mother of Dragons if you're just then going to have him... You know, I don't know that there's much beating
It's a
down after
callback
that.
from the incest earlier in the season.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think that ship is still sailing as well. I think Cersei and Jaime, exactly the same. They live or die together as a couple.
No.
That's-
The end of the last series was when they split up.
I don't
He
think
went
so.
to-
Love,
he
is,
went-
love is tiff.
No, he chose his brother over his sister.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you.
He does
I
do
agree.
that a lot. In fairness.
They're not in love anymore.
She's wicked.
She is wicked, but he's always loved her in spite of her wickedness.
But she's gone too far this time. She's
Too far.
killed the 3 children.
She didn't do that.
A lot of her plotting did.
Yes, but
Mhm.
she didn't, she didn't actively.
Have you got anything else to add to your list?
No, that's it at
Just
the moment.
Brienne
Just
and
full on
Brienne
incest,
and Tormund,
basically.
basically, as well, yeah?
Brian?
Well, here's what's going to happen. Cersei is going to die, and the Night King is going to raise her as his queen, and they are going to sit on the throne at the end.
What?
You're welcome.
That's
Don't
weird.
even watch it.
Weird.
That's what's going to happen.
Weird.
Night
I
King
don't
for
hate
life.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every king
but-
needs a queen, and she is the
Ice cream.
evilest one I can think of.
Plus, it has crossed all of our minds, surely, at some point watching this series of like, maybe all these people are just better off dead. Maybe the Night King will be the just ruler
Yeah.
that the realm needs. It would just be chillier.
Okay. So moving on from there, we have done a Deadpool list, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
So the people who are going to die, who we think are going to die, and the order in the series that they're going to do it. And we've done 5 people, yeah?
Mhm.
So if you hit us up first, what people in what order are going to die?
So for my list, I think the first person in my particular list who's going to die is Gregor Clegane, the Mountain. I think we're going to have...
Are you cheating?
Clegane
He's kind of
Ball.
already dead.
He's half.
He's going to stay dead. He's going to, no longer be a problem for people.
Gotcha.
And I think it won't be Arya. I think it will be Clegane Bowl will happen, and I think his brother will finally kill him.
The Hound versus the Mountain.
The Hound versus the Mountain, yeah. I think
kinda
it's
hope
going to
you're right.
happen. Yeah, and I
Mhm.
think Sandor will do it. Whether Sandor gets taken out as well, I don't know. But for me, Gregor Clegane is going out in this season
First.
and then next, and I'm a little bit on the ordering now, but I think next guy, it might be Ghost, because they
Boo.
love upsetting us by killing those direwolves, and they've all gone pretty much. And Ghost, I personally think, has been on borrowed time for a few seasons now, and they're just like, yeah, we're going to chuck that. He's going to be like the Hedwig of this series. I think he'll go
Why you
quite
gotta do that
early.
to us?
I know, I'm sorry, but I think it's going to happen. I'm going to hate it, and I'm going to cry. But
I would have preferred it if Hagrid had died in Harry Potter than Hedwig. Just saying.
Wow. That's some fighting words.
Dang.
Controversial opinion of the day.
I was going to say, should we do it? This is not the Controversial Opinions podcast.
Okay, so
I like
yeah,
it, though.
Ghost dies.
Ghost
3.
next, and then I think, like I said, I'm a bit fuzzy on the order, but I think it would be Cersei,
Killed by.
Jaime.
Mm.
I am a firm believer in that prophecy.
Yep.
Sconf is going to come true. It's not the actual name of the prophecy. Go look it up. Valonqar or something like that, I think it is, isn't it? Where she's going to be killed by her little brother, and I'm sure Cersei is older than Jaime. Because I think she even says, I'm technically older, so I should have all these, amazing things, and I don't. So I think Cersei will kill Jaime, but I also don't think Jaime is surviving. I think Jaime will die relatively soon after Cersei.
So Jaime's 4th.
So Jaime's 4th. And then my 5th one, I think, Endgame. It's all kicking off. Bran dies. But Bran is some sort of boring but important sacrifice to the whole story. And maybe he, becomes the Night... Maybe he walks into the Night King and then stabs himself, or he becomes like a dragon and kills the Night King, but ultimately dies. Bran's dying. Last.
Not helping.
The Three-Eyed Raven.
Not
Yeah.
helping, but in yellow.
That was good.
Okay, Shelby, let's get your countdown.
So first, I'm with you, Phil. I think it's going to be Gilly. I think she's going to die, and it's going to just break Sam's heart. I
And then
also
Sam will have a montage where he works out and becomes real buff. And then he'll become like the warrior and sit on the throne.
Nah. Then I'm not sure of the order here, but
Oh my gosh.
it's between these two. The next one I'm sure on the order, but these two, I think Euron is going to die, Greyjoy,
Yeah.
and then I also think that Theon is going to die.
Theon's already dead.
Wait,
There's
is he?
only Reek.
Oh.
I did when I wrote this list. I wrote down Reek,
Nice.
but I feel like he's starting to grasp.
Yeah,
back
I
at
think he's
Theon.
back. Yeah.
But I think he's going to die saving the Stark women in some
That'd be
way.
a good
Yeah.
turn. That.
That would
Yeah.
be.
Well,
He'd
certainly
go
there's
to
something there
Valhalla
with
for that.
Sansa. Yeah.
And then this is important. I think next is going to be Jaime, and I think Cersei is going to kill him. I think that we're going to shape because she's heard the prophecy and she's seen all the other deaths come to fruition. I think she's going to take it,
She's gonna try to break the chain.
break the chain, and she's going to kill him first.
And
And
then
then she's
Tyrion
going
kills
to
her.
be no, I don't think so. Actually maybe, but I think she's going to kill herself.
Nah. That's
Gosh,
not, that's,
full on Romeo and Juliet.
That's not Cersei.
You don't
at
think
all.
well, I guess you're right. Yeah. No, maybe her youngest brother that she did think was going to kill her actually does.
'Cause I
But I
don't
think
know
I think she's going to kill Jaime. Or
See, I
maybe
always
the
thought she
Night
was-
King kills her or something, but I think
Night
that
King's gonna kill everyone.
Okay,
I
fair
enjoy
enough.
that.
Okay, so thinking of that theory, wouldn't it be more shocking if she killed Tyrion? Because that's also the younger brother that's going to kill her.
She's been so hell bent
See,
on
I-
Tyrion,
I
hasn't
think
she?
that's
So she kills him, and then
more-
Jaime goes no, and then kills
kills
her,
Yeah.
and still the younger brother kills her.
Mm-hmm. That is what I think is the most likely outcome of that scenario.
I think that she's
Yeah.
going to try and act on this prophecy, though. I think she's going to kill Jaime because of the prophecy, and then maybe Tyrion still kills her. But
I feel like Tyrion was surviving this. Like,
I do too.
I don't know how much stock they put in George's, but Tyrion to me, like, he's always been the author's favourite character, and I feel like he would have said to them, "Oh, here's my plan for Tyrion." Like, I think Tyrion's gonna. I just feel like he knew what was going to happen with Tyrion, and I think he was going to survive the series personally. But that's just my theory.
Okay, that's my list.
That was 5.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it was. Okay, Brian, hit us up. Go on.
All right. I am starting out with Grey Worm because I think the A team has to lose somebody, but it won't be anybody major. I mean, depending on your feelings about Grey Worm, you might think it's major, but I think he's going to go out early in some sort of skirmish. And then Jaqen Hagar is going to come for Arya, and he's going to lose.
Hmm.
So he's next.
I love it. I love it.
And then Varys.
What?
I don't know how, but Varys is going to die.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's got his too many things on the burner there. He's going to finally get his, kind of like Littlefinger did. I think
Maybe Dany would execute him. Maybe he would ultimately try and betray her, and then she's like, "Boom! I told you I'd execute you if you betrayed me."
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see him making it to the end, so I stuck him in the middle of my 5.
Yeah.
Next, I have Jon Snow.
Ooh. Okay.
Controversial.
Yeah, I don't see him surviving the Game of Thrones twice. So
But he's the special one.
he is.
Isn't he the Lord of Light? Lightbringer, isn't he? There's that whole prophecy that's also running along in the background.
The Lord of Light's weird. So we'll see.
It's got to be important, though.
Yeah, I think all the prophecies are probably important, but
Yeah.
it could be one of those a prophecy misread.
It's misread. And maybe it's the Lady of Light, and it's Sansa!
There
Her
you
hair
go.
is literally fire.
That's true.
Soph has such a crush on Sansa.
I really do. I
And
really
that's the tea.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she
And-
better have a kick-ass storyline.
And rounding out my list is Cersei. I think she's going to die at the very end.
Yeah.
I think the climax is going to involve something to do with what you guys have been talking about, the whole prophecy and the brothers and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I lean more toward what I think Phil said, where she's going to kill Tyrion and Jaime's going to wax her in an angry moment.
Although, I feel like she also could end up, knowing that she's beat, absolutely beat, and completely blowing up all of King's Landing and the throne with herself.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like,
yeah.
no one gets it. I can see her just destroying the Iron Throne instead of letting anyone
I
else
love
sit
that.
on it.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty.
So
None
that's
of
kind of a
us
nonsense.
I haven't said mine yet.
I was
That's
about to
true.
say, no, none of us have gone for the Arya's killing Cersei.
No.
She is on the list.
Okay, so I start off same as Shelby. Gilly. Why? She's just holding Sam back.
Wow. I feel like she's literally built him up.
I agree.
Yeah, she's the reason.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
forward.
He's become the man he is because of his
It's called
affinity
love,
for
Phil.
her.
Okay,
or
we'll
something.
agree to disagree on that. Next is Jaime.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that early, huh?
Poor Jamie.
I think he gets killed by the mountain.
What?
Yeah, I do.
You think the mountain's hunting him?
I think they go into battle and the mountain kills him.
Can't see many people beating the mountain.
Yeah. Then we have Cersei dies.
Mm-hmm.
Doing something stupid, probably. Like,
Well, choke on a grape.
no, but, Tyrion's going to kill her somehow, or, Arya's going to be in Jaime's body, or you're right, somewhere along that line.
I do
Mm.
love the idea of an eye wearing Jamie's face situation.
Yeah.
I do enjoy
But
that.
she's not surviving. This is where it's all going to kick off.
Oh, no.
Dany's then going to die.
Oh my.
No.
Khaleesi, she will die. She will get killed by the Night King.
Yes, I like it. I love it.
I hate it.
Okay. She's going to get killed by the Night King. John's going to be like, no, Auntie, what have they done to you?
He's calling her auntie by this point.
Yeah. It's their cute bedroom nickname. And then John kills the Night King. And the Night King is the last one to die. And John sits on the throne.
Ugh.
How dare you put the Night King on your list?
And that
It's the tea.
and that is what I think.
That tea is cold.
That tea is cold. You need to put that in the microwave, sir.
So,
Let it stew a bit longer in the microwave.
so we'll go on to season predictions. What are we expecting from this season? We've just discussed deaths and relationships, but as a whole, what are we looking at? What's going to happen? And inevitably, who is going to be sat on the Iron Throne at the end of the day? That final episode draws down.
Okay, let's do a quick fire. So you're saying John on the Iron Throne.
John on the Iron Throne from Phil.
Brian?
Night King.
Shelby?
Danny.
And I'm Danny as well.
Dorks.
3 of you are wrong.
That's right.
More than likely, all 4 of us are wrong, but
I'm loving the Cersei burning it to the ground though as well.
Yeah, I
Down
kind
for
of
that.
dig that idea.
Yeah. But I think we'll have John as a king in the north. Or we have Sansa as the queen in the north. Queen of the
Yeah,
north.
well.
Queen of the Iron Throne. I'm into it.
Winterfell is Danny's right now. We heard it from
Apparently.
Sansa herself.
Yes, apparently. That's going to be a interesting encounter.
But I can also
So-
see John being the king of the North, basically going back
Oh, like
to
beyond the wall. The king beyond the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
I mean,
love that as
is
well.
there really a wall anymore if it's got a giant hole in it?
Not really.
They could repair that, couldn't they? Just a bit of...
I can't see how. Well, kind of. They're going to have an epic battle and the dragons are going to do whatever and it's all going to be amazing. And that's how John's going to win. But, taking that aside, the White Walkers and the Night King, he is strong. Really, really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he
And
has
unless
his
they
own
all group
Frostworm
together-
now.
Yes.
Unless they're all
Nice
going to group
frost.
together, how are they going to win? And at the moment, they're not all grouping together, are they?
No. I think, well, this is where we've got Bran coming into things. So I've always had sort of 2 theories when it comes to Bran, and a line that I've really clung to from really early seasons of you will never walk again, but you will fly for Bran. And I think Bran is either going to ride a dragon or he is going to walk into a dragon. And whether he walks into the ice dragon, I don't know if he can walk into dead things or not, actually. That's probably a quite important distinction to make. But I feel like that is going to be key. I've also had this vibe that Tyrion was going to end up on a dragon. I don't know why. I don't know if that was where I was chasing the whole, like, chosen one thing from it. There was like rumours going around a few years ago that Tyrion was possibly one of the chosen ones. So that might now be Jon that ends up sitting on a dragon now that they're kind of like sort of related to him.
That's true.
They're his cousins, basically. So that's been my thought on how this is definitely going to be Dragonfire. I also kind of think Sam's going to have some sort of magic spell, something. I know he's got all the Valyrian steel. He sort of has been quite key to that, but I feel like there's going to be more magic somewhere in this fight, because like you say, I can't see an army of humans beating the army of the dead at this stage.
Exactly why the Night King is going to win.
Oh my god. It's not going to be that way.
It might be.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I don't know. On that whole idea of Bran and warging, we know that Bran can warg like kind of back in time, right? For the whole door thing. So we also know that those little weird pixie people made the Night King.
Yes.
So what if he wargs back in time to when that happens and he stops them from doing it, thus there never was a Night King to begin with, and it changes the whole timeline.
And then it could be like, he comes back to present and like, Ned's still alive?
Mm-hmm.
Are we just going to end up in a...
Oh
Yeah.
god.
It's
was
an
all a
AU
Bran
where
dream?
everything's back to the
I'd
beginning.
be kind of ticked off about that. I'd be like, this is
Yeah.
garbage.
It's a very like Dallas guys in the shower, it was all a dream type of
Twilight
sequence.
as well. Isn't it? It's almost sort of Twilight of like, here's what could have happened, but it didn't.
It's a very lost kind of...
Yeah. But you're right, the going back in time seems to be, unless it was just so that we could get that reveal of Jon Snow's heritage, because we just had no other way of finding out.
Nah, I think there's more to it than that, because he was the one that controlled how Hodor ended up that way. But I wonder then if it's...
I think it's limited.
Yeah, I don't think it could change anything, because we find out that he's the reason that he's like that, and
Yeah, he wouldn't
nothing
wanna do that again.
changes. He's always been that way. So I don't know. But one more Bran related theory I have, it's a borrowed World of Warcraft theory. So they have their own version of the Night King as the Lich King, and when you defeat him in the game, someone has to take his place, or all the undead things like are on their own and they're tethered to one single power, so they just run amok. So a paladin takes the role of the Lich King so that it's someone good, and I think maybe Bran will become the Night King and then just keep all the walkers at bay.
Ooh, I like that as well.
Sounds like a depressing life.
Yeah, but
Right.
Bran's a pretty depressing character.
Yeah, right. All he does is sit
Yeah.
around anyway, so he might as well. But that's how the Night King will end up on the Iron Throne, because he'll make it all the way there, and then Bran will take over him from there, and he'll just sit there,
Oh my gosh.
and that's how I win.
You know it's not actually going to happen. I don't know why you
I know,
continue with
but-
this.
Girl can dream.
Ugh.
So, I think that Arya
See, Arya's going to be important.
is actually not Arya. She died.
You reckon she's Jack and Hagar?
She is Jack and Hagar.
Could you imagine?
So when? How long?
Which is-
How long has she not been Arya?
Since she went in there.
A very long time, yes.
Wow.
And that the faceless god here, is that right?
Many-faced god.
The many-faced god is actually the true god of Game of Thrones.
Oh,
And that he is going to then cause some havoc
I'm obsessed with
up
that.
north. And they're all going to root round. The thing that gets me is I don't understand the structure of this, how this structure of this series is going to work, because we're going to need a battle fairly early on
Mm-hmm.
that
Agreed.
that potentially what you'd call the good guys are going to lose,
Yes.
and then we're going to have a second battle where they all string together and then the good guys win. Yeah,
Mhm.
that would be the basis of what would probably normally happen.
Isn't
But
how-
Game of Thrones have thrown us curveballs all the time.
Also, isn't this technically the length of about 3 films, this series? And you think the amount that they can do in 3 films?
The rumour is it's going to be a 60 minute, and then the rest are going to be 80-minute
80,
episodes.
yeah, that's what I've seen too.
Yeah.
There's a lot they can pack into that.
Yeah.
I love and hate that idea all at the same time, Phil.
I don't
have
want her
heard
to be-
that one entire episode is a battle. It's supposed to be like the longest battle ever filmed or something like that.
Now, I normally wouldn't like that, but at the same time, Game of Thrones always seem to manage to make their battles really compelling. And the Battle of the Bastards, you just there at the edge of your seat, and like the first time the dragons come into the battle, and oh god, like Hardhome, like that was a massive. Like, they somehow seem to make it really interesting. When normally I'm a bit like, oh well, go and put the kettle on whilst the battle's going on. But so I'm okay with that if that's the way it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's an interesting.
Okay, what about the theory then? Here's one that I've scanned the internet for. Tyrion betrays Dany and sides with Cersei.
Oh, dang.
Because in the end, he is a Lannister.
Lannister always pays his debts.
Because he's seen some good sides of her and some bad sides of her. And recently, when she decided to just burn a load of people and not listen to advice.
Yeah. I don't think he's seen the best of Dany, Tyrion. I really don't.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think he has either.
I don't know about her either. I think
Someone's got to turncoat in this series. Someone's got to turn sides in this series at some point.
I think
What
maybe
about
it'll be
Bronn?
Varys, and that's how he ends up dying.
Yeah. I love that idea of him trying to turn and then Dany like going, because she does follow through on her threats of, I
Yeah.
will kill you if you betray me. And, he doesn't have that emotional hold over her that Jorah did.
Honestly, imagine Varys sitting on the throne at the end of all this. Like, everyone's dead, and he just walks out. He's like, well,
For
the realm.
Mhm.
I think I wouldn't say it's out of the realms of possibility.
Yeah, neither would I.
I feel like we need to go back and watch the first series really, really intently, because it would be something that was said in like the very first
Yeah.
series or something, won't it? Or it's like, yeah.
Gosh, this is
Does-
really
is-
psyching me up to just go watch it.
I
Is
know.
is Varys on Arya's list?
No.
Because I was thinking, if the people in the south don't know that Littlefinger's died, she could multi-face, like face Littlefinger and pretend to be Littlefinger. Arya could.
She could.
Yeah. But they probably all know because the Ravens and stuff, don't they?
Part of me thinks with this whole thing, Arya herself has not crossed many people off her list, has she? Because other people have wound up killing them. Joffrey wasn't done by her hand, it was done by other people, and I just think she's got
She
some
got
crucial
Walter
names
Frey
on her
though,
list.
didn't she?
She did. She got
Yeah.
Walder Frey and she got the dude that she stabbed his eyes out. I can't remember his name now.
Is
But the
that
really evil guy.
Ilan Payne.
So
Yeah.
what's gonna happen
Gillian
to
Payne, yeah.
what's gonna happen to the? Is it their cousin that is King of the Vale?
Oh, Robert.
Robert, yeah. What's gonna do you think
Oh, I
he's gonna be
he'll
involved
die.
at all,
I think he might just die.
or would they just not be like, I don't know what he's doing. He's being a
Yeah.
kid over
He'll
there.
fly.
Is that the sort of place that... No, well, it was Catelyn Stark's home.
Yeah.
Is that the place Sansa goes and rules in the end or something along those lines? Does she then become
I don't know if this is
Lorderess of the Vale?
I don't know if this
Lady
is
of the Vale?
Lady of the Vale, yeah. I don't know if this is just fangirl talking now, but
Probably.
I don't know that, for me, I don't know that Sansa's just going to get palmed off somewhere, because they had an opportunity to write her out when George practically wrote her out of the book and sent her on some pointless storyline, where they chose to bring her back from that and actually give her a really crucial role. And I don't know if they've just been doing so much foreshadowing of her in the north, being the Lady of Winterfell, and I don't know that her fate is just going to be to marry someone and sit this out. I feel like she's going to be crucial, but I have no idea how. But part of me thinks Sansa's not leaving Winterfell. I don't think.
I'd live there with her.
Yeah, after all she's been through,
Yeah.
leaving has always been bad for her. So I could see, like
Yeah.
you said, her just being like, "No, I'm good here. Whatever
And
happens, I'm a chill here."
And it's the same, she's not the same person from when she left. And, I could almost see her being like, no, I'm not getting married again. And I'm not, she's really learned that she has to fight her own battles in this world. And although she can't fight them like Arya can, I don't know if she's been learning from Littlefinger and whether she's going to kind of become the next Cersei, so to speak, but just not as evil, obviously. But I don't know. I feel she's been moved into too much of a central position to, and I feel like the Northmen, they're not going to accept Dany either. And whether we're going to end up with some potential, not coup, I don't think she'd ever do that, but whether there's going to be some serious rumblings, because the Northmen, they just, they didn't even want to follow Robb. Why are they going to want to follow Dany?
Well, here's something too. We hear Sansa say, "Winterfell is yours," but we don't hear Dany say anything else in response. She may say, "No, Winterfell is your home."
She doesn't want Winterfell, does she?
No.
She wants the Iron Throne.
So I mean, like, yes, it's it's Winterfell, but she wants the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
So
Well, and
she
I
may
took that
reject
to mean
Winterfell.
like I am the
I'm aligned with you.
I'm the commander of
Ah.
Winterfell, and it is at your disposal, not you can
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think she leaves Winterfell. I think Winterfell is Sansa's
And then Jon may
until
just
the Night King comes
follow
and
her
takes it.
down to the Iron Throne, and he'll bend the knee.
So, what is everyone's worst case scenario for this finishing? What do you not want to see at all happen?
Cersei not die.
Really? I kind of want her to live at the end and just
Ugh.
be like, screw all you guys.
You're terrible.
I played the game and I won.
No. No.
With
no,
3
no,
dead
no.
children and potentially a dead husband brother. I don't think she has
Brosband.
won the game.
Brosman.
Exactly.
There's a funny
Honestly, for
meme
me-
going around where it says like season 1, ooh, incest, and season 7, yes, bang your aunt.
For me,
What's yours, Phil?
it would be Dany sat on the Iron Throne.
Ah!
That would be my
Honestly,
absolute
yeah.
worst.
That-
Anger me so much.
That's too on the
Too
nose.
predictable.
That's so
look, this
not
sweet
Game
girl
of
at the
Thrones.
beginning, and then she just waddles all through, and in the end, boom, there she is.
You've just described her journey as on through. Like, that girl has fought and fought for her birthright that was taken from her. For me, my worst case scenario is anyone but Dany on the Iron Throne.
Well, that's going to be an interesting household, isn't it?
I think my worst case scenario, yeah, it's probably Jon Snow specifically on the Iron Throne.
You just hate
'cause-
men.
No, it's just because like if you think of him versus Dany, I want Dany.
It's
Because
not.
I think it's going to be the
because
one.
there's
I
so
think
many
it's gonna
characters.
be-
That's the thing. And
What I'm
it's-
trying to say though is that if it's him, most likely she's still alive and she has basically given that up. And I'd be like, unless she's dead.
What if they super Game of Thrones us and like she dies at episode 1? Like people would lose their mind.
I think
Can
it'd be
you
hilarious.
imagine?
I would like to
I'll just
watch it all
stop.
burn.
People would literally lose their minds. But then she gets brought back again, and they're like,
Oh,
she and John are reborn and
Blech.
in the Lord
I
of
did-
Light, and they're not related anymore through magic.
I hate.
So
I hate
there's
this
no
entire
incest.
story. I hate all of this.
This is the thing with Game of Thrones. You can speculate so ridiculously because they can do absolutely anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the moment, they're making everything they're doing good.
Right?
Yeah, there's
like
some
if someone
timeline issues,
if someone's speculation for episode 9 was that Rey would die at the beginning, everyone would be like, that's dumb. That will never
Yeah.
happen. But with Game of Thrones, like that's
It's like,
out there. You can say, "Hey, I bet Dany will die in episode 1," and people would be like, "I doubt it, but I mean, maybe."
What's your?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, Soph, you already said yours.
Yeah, it's Brian, isn't it? Anyone but the Night King on the Iron Throne.
No, I think mine is Cersei. If Cersei's not dead,
Oh yes, yeah.
I need her to die. That's all I need out of this season. I don't really care. I would love
So
for some Night King full on destruction. Like the bad guy wins. Like everyone dies because they can't get along. And that's the ultimate lesson in this show is that people can't get along, so they get wiped out.
you just want to watch the world burn, don't you, Brian?
No, I want to watch it freeze.
Oh my goodness.
So, okay, I feel like you've touched on this, Shelby, with the death of Euron. I feel like there's a big section of players here that we've not talked about yet. Mostly our watery friends, the Greyjoys.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's talk about Theon, aka Reek, and obviously his sister.
Is she still alive?
And, yeah, just...
I had to
Just-
part of when we were doing the death ball, I had to be like, I think this person's gonna die. Wait, are they already dead? I can't remember.
But yeah, do we think Theon is summoning a Kraken in this series?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I'd kind of forgot about that. I thought about that a while ago.
So-
because it's like on
so-
their symbol, right?
Euron is gonna
Right.
get his. He's gonna get his somehow.
Yeah, and Theon has been on the like Theon's important. There was at one point where I thought he might end up marrying Sansa at the end of all of this, but
Ooh.
if he survives and he's on thin ice,
Won't
but
have any kids from that union.
Oh,
No, but I don't know. I don't know if she'd
I don't
be
think
up
she.
for that anyway.
I don't think she really wants to have any sort
No.
of intercourse ever again.
No.
Probably not. Yeah.
No, I get what you mean. Yeah, I get that, and I feel like that was a different life for Sansa now, with the whole happy marriage, little Sprogs running around and stuff, and yeah, she's a different person now, and you know, maybe they could have a nice life, and he could summon a Kraken. So yes, Kraken.
I think that if he's going to
That
go
was
into
what I was
battle,
hoping for whenever I got married to Brian. Have a nice life, and
Summons a
he'll
Kraken.
summon a Kraken.
Yeah, well.
he's gonna have someone's gonna have to fight Euron. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
why
think it's
can't
gonna
it
be
be
him.
him with a Kraken? That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
Oh.
I kind of am
and
going
it's
to
like
be mad if that
true
doesn't happen, though.
Greyjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been building to it. Like he's been back on that.
You're not a Greyjoy. You're not a Greyjoy. You're not my son, etc.
He's going to claim that name back, I think, by the end, and he is going to say,
I
"I am
am."
Theon Greyjoy."
And then the Kraken's going to come up and just whoop.
Yeah, it's going to be like that. I know hashtag not a Star Wars podcast, but I always remember you talking about Shelby in Rogue One when Jyn says her, "You know who I am. I'm Jyn Erso," and it's her like claiming that name as her own because she's hidden it for so long, and obviously Theon had it taken away from him, and he never really felt like he earned his name, or even when he was like that cocky little kid back in Winterfell, he wasn't being like a true like nobleman then. He was being
Lad.
a dude.
I'm a lad. With Rob and John. Wee, you can't fire an arrow, can you? Wee.
He was being a chicken boy, was he?
Yeah, he basically was.
And we know what the hound does to chickens, don't we?
Oh, man.
So, okay, so we're all pro.
We shouldn't have talked about this so far out. We should have waited till like a week before the series starts, because I'm literally so excited.
Oh, I know.
So, future of Game of Thrones, yeah? What things have they got planned, so?
They've got the really ancient prequel series, haven't they? Which is set back in the age of the kings type thing. And it's a pretty old prequel. It's way, way back. It's pre like Ned and all of that lot. It's in the sort of glory days, and like the
There's just going to be lots of dragons knocking about and stuff, yeah?
No, it's before them as
Before
well. It's
dragons?
that, yeah, it's that old. And then we've also got the potential, talking of far-fetched theories, that George finishes the series of books. It's not
never
it's
happening.
not happening.
Do you
That's
think
not
he'll even
happening.
bother? Like,
Yeah, like
and
why?
if
honestly,
he
Basically, got
does,
it
what
taken
do
away
you
from
think
him.
he's going to just make it completely different from the series just
Yes.
because?
He is that petty, and he is that. Every time they used to say, didn't they? Every time someone kept on at him, he would kill a Stark, and that was like his rule. Of like when fans would pester him, he'd be like, "Well, that's another one gone. Oh no, look,
Yeah, and
literally that guy." And I'd
to
feel like
me,
he'd be that
that's-
petty.
that's not a creative thing. Like, if you're going to be that influenced by people, you should just stop.
It's a funny meme, Brian.
But I
Ev-
wouldn't put it past him. I don't know. I've seen him in a couple of interviews, and he rubs me like the wrong way. I appreciate
Yeah,
that
but
he created this world that I really enjoy, but I think
Yeah.
I'm going to stay with the series. I don't plan to ever read the books.
No, me neither.
Sorry, Georgie.
No, I don't think he. And like you said, I could see him going a different way. I've got a feeling he probably said to them, "This is a rough idea of what I think is going to happen," and he might have even said, you know, whose royal rump is going to grace the throne at the end of all this. But whether they then sort of stuck with his outline. But yeah, that's kind of. I mean. We've talked about expanding universes on this podcast previously. Do we think it's inevitable that they're going to do a 5 years later or 10 years later?
Well, at the very end.
Yeah. No,
Like
no,
a
no.
sick
It's in
Harry
like...
Potter thing.
No.
Oh, do you
As in-
think? Do
Oh,
you think they
you're
could
telling
do
me
that though? Like,
How would-
here's how
how they-
people ended up.
Yeah.
How do they ruin Game of Thrones for me?
That would do it, huh? Having like that coda at the end or whatever you want to call it, where it's like,
yeah. 10 years later, and there's two little Dannys and two little Johns knocking about, and they're all living happily
they'd
ever
name them
after.
Ned, wouldn't they? They'd name their children Ned and Cat.
And then
Oh my
the
God.
and then the
And
elves
Grey-
would come
Grey
along,
Worm.
and they'd like glance across to each other and look all happy and be like, "Yeah, we used to not like the Lannisters, but now we're all friends." And Tyrion's there with a glass of wine and a good-looking wife.
What if they did it like 80s movie style, where it was just stills and they had text, and it was like, Dany went on to be the mother of even more dragons. There are now 17 dragons guarding.
I feel like we're kind of jumping the shark here, guys. Jumping the Kraken. So
Jumping the Kraken.
Oh my goodness.
The Kraken went back into the ocean, never to be seen again.
So what do you actually think is going to happen?
Theon's penis grew back.
Oh my gosh.
I think that they will finish it in, what is it, 6 episodes, yeah?
I think it's
episode
7, like, oddly.
Okay, episode 6.5 will be the person sitting on the Iron Throne, and then the last 20 minutes will be getting a structure of Parliament / something in place, wrapping up a few little storylines.
No, I think it's just going to be the person sitting on the Iron Throne, and then that crown landing on their head, and that'll be the ending shot, I reckon. Maybe we'll pan out to the surviving dragon roaring, because Drogon's surviving.
What if
Or maybe
it's
it's
one of
that.
those things where everything seems all tied up, and then at the very end, they show someone who died's eyes open up and they're blue, and then it just fades to black.
Or
That would be good.
Whoever sat on the Iron Throne peels the face mask off, and it's somebody else. It's then like Jack and Hagar the whole time. Or Arya's pretending to be someone and she's actually on the throne. And like you say, this is all very feasible options because it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I do. I mean, back to the whole predictions part. I think there's no way this ends and they only do a prequel. It was too massively big. I don't know. Maybe it depends on how the prequel does. Because, I mean, like, look at Walking Dead. That show was astronomical. And then they did the Fear the Walking Dead, and it was garbage. So I guess it really depends on how they do it. The world is terrific, but if you don't handle it right, it's not going to be. And plus, I think, like Phil said before, anything they make, he's going to compare it to Game of Thrones. And if it's not at least as good, what's the point?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But I think they're going to just throw money at it until it doesn't work anymore.
I think it's sensible to go so far back with the prequels rather than, focusing on Robert's Rebellion, which would have been quite cool because we know those characters. We also then know where that story goes, and that's not
Right. Yeah.
How different to Game of Thrones is that really going to be? Whereas if you've chucked us thousands of years previous, so we're going into it relatively new again, and that does interest me. I think that's more exciting than if they'd have announced a sequel or just the War of the Five Kings or whatever it was. No, Robert's Rebellion.
That's exactly it. There's no point in watching a series where Robert's going into battles because you know that he's going to win.
Yeah,
so
it's
boring,
not
isn't
getting.
it?
The only thing that could have been intriguing of that, of course, was with Dany's dad, and watching that kind of descent into madness would be arguably quite cool. But yeah, I think what they've done by going so far back, we have that series run its course, and then they think, okay, now what are people hungry for? Do they want Robert, or do they want post Game of Thrones kind of era? But I think they'll leave any sequels well alone for a while.
Yeah, I think they'll probably see, like I said, how this prequel thing pans out. And then, but if it does even half as good, I don't think we've seen the last of Winterfell, etc.
Yeah, agreed.
Does anybody have anything else to say before we wrap this up?
I think Game of Thrones is cool. I like it.
I have one more question for everybody.
Okay, lay it on me.
Do you think Melisandre's coming back
Yes.
in this series?
Yes.
Yeah, she has to do it. She can't just fade away.
No.
I don't know to what end, but something.
But it's gonna be weird.
Maybe she'll snap her fingers and Jon will just die. She'll take back the light that she gave him.
Yeah.
Or she'll just blow out a candle and he'll drop dead.
Yeah.
Do you think she's coming back, Phil?
I think she might bring a burning army.
Yeah, we're a bit thin on armies, aren't we?
And the burning army will not be OP, but they will be able to fight White Walkers, etc. And that will be enough, and a kind of I told you guys so that you are right, and John, you are the man who is to lead the country.
Yeah, because Euron's bringing the Golden Company over, isn't he? So we're
Yeah.
going to get a band of mercenaries. That will probably be the early battle you're talking about.
But where does she get? Yeah, where does she get these burning people from, or something? You know,
Or is it going to be
She's-
other red
she-
priests?
yeah. She's got to bring something, and she's got to bring something special to the situation. So
Yeah, I feel
Agree.
like we've had a peek at her character, but I feel like there's room for more growth there with her, because she's obviously, she had her faith massively shaken, and then presumably that's come back now, and she's got to be thinking, I've got some skills.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I brought him back. She's got to be feeling pretty special right now, and like you say, not gonna.
So
diminish.
let's just to summarise,
Uh-huh.
we basically have no idea who's going to survive, what's going to happen, or who's going to sit on the Iron Throne. Yeah,
And isn't that perfect? Isn't that where you want to be?
it is so good to be in that point, to sit down for the first episode of series 7, 8,
Yeah.
8, I think.
7, I don't know,
Mm.
8, and be like, I don't know what's going to happen. This is so exciting.
I'm going to listen to this episode to see just how close or out there we were.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be right because the Night King's going to win.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, make sure you're following us on the new stream, which is Pods and Ends, not Hyperspace Pod Blast or Bright Tree Radio, because those will be going away in 2019 whenever those subscriptions expire. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at PNE_pod.
Hit us up via email at contact@podsandends.com. And also check out our website that has a fantastic article about Spider-Man from my dude, Michael Miller. It is www.podsandends.com. And go watch Game of Thrones.
All right, talk to you later, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.